It's Diane, and we've restocked all kinds of great stuff. And so, if you attended the Northwest Arkansas Extension Quilt Day last week, then you know that there were several things that I got out of stock. And so, I have restocked all those items, including the pins, the scissors, the thread, and the books, and more. So, I'm going to talk to you about, if you weren't there, what we talked about. So, the first thing that got restocked are these fabulous scissors. These are made by Havel. They're only $11.99, but they have a razor sharp point and they are micro serrated, which means you can do extremely fine cutting with it, whether it's an applique or machine embroidery, but it's especially nice when you're cutting really small things. And for only $11.99, they're my favorite scissor. So the next thing that we got restocked on are the magic pins. And magic pins are really just that. The heads are great big so that they're easy to pick up and grab. The heads are also heat resistant. You can iron over these. But what makes them magic is they are so micro thin and fine, and they're a little pliable so that they can go through any fabric and will not create distortion. So if you pin fabric together and you pin it and it makes a wave, if you pin it with these, there's going to be no wave. You're going to have no distortion, which is really good at keeping your seam line straight. So these are super nice. They're 100 in a package for $14.99, and that's definitely a pin that you're going to want to have in your sewing room. The next thing that we restocked is the gypsy cleaning tools, because I know all of us are way too guilty of letting too much lint get inside our bobbin cases. And so these are only $4.95, and you've got 4 different little types and sizes of little get the crud out sticks. So that's something that we definitely need to have at home. The other thing that got restocked that we sold out of are the 80 weight pre-wound bobbins from Wonderfill. These are just a little over $10 for a package of them. If you have a machine that uses the Class 15 bobbin, which is the plastic bobbin that most Brother, Baby Lock, Janome, Elna, and other machines use. I think there's 3 or 4 Berninas that maybe also use these bobbins. They're reusable bobbins, so you get a ton of thread wound on the bottom, and it's 80 weight, and which means it's going to be super fine and not going to take up space in your seam allowance. And these are the antique white ones that we sold out of. I still have white and a couple other colors in stock. The other thing that's restocked is I have a whole bunch of, which is Bottom Line Thread by Superior. And if you attended the event in Arkansas last week, I explained why I don't piece with cotton thread anymore. I use Superior's Bottom Line, that's 60 weight on the top that comes down. Then I use the 80 weight bobbins in my bobbin case, which means I'm going to have 0 thread distortion, and my seams are going to be extremely flat when I press them. It's still fine enough that it leaves no distortion, but it's thick enough that you can actually see it if for some reason you need to take it out with a seam ripper. So it doesn't become invisible, but it's very fine, very strong poly thread. I use Bottom Line. Superior actually makes this for bobbin thread. So if you have a machine that has metal bobbins or that where you can't use these 80 weight pre-wounds, then use this on the top and on the bottom, and you'll have a very similar, probably nearly the same result. But if you want to come by the shop, I can show you what the seams look like when they're sewn with this super fine thread. I also use Superior 60/8 needles, which are a tiny needle, which I don't have those yet in stock. They're ordered because I sold those out too. But if I've got thin thread, I don't need a giant needle. I don't need it poking giant holes in when I'm using very thin thread. You can use a 7511 needle with this and it will work just fine, but I prefer the 60/8 needle, which is even smaller. And since I have an automatic needle threader on my machine, I don't have to worry about trying to find that slot myself. But this is what I use. And I bought the neutral colors, and for the most part, really any neutral color will work because the thread is so fine that it's not going to be visible really in any seam. So the next thing that we got back in stock, which we sold all of at the show, is the Very Merry Christmas book. And there's several things in this book that are crazy cute. On the back, you'll see there's a bunting, and you could do a Christmas bunting with the gingerbread men, or you could think outside the box and not use the gingerbread men and put letters that were maybe hand cut or cut with a AccuQuilt die and put letters and put nursery on there, or name, or some other event, or something like that. So just because it's a Christmas book doesn't mean you always have to do Christmas things. But there are several really cute patterns in this book. One of my favorites actually is this one, that is the cat in the Christmas tree. And this is one that we're going to have a kit, and it's a wall hanging size, and it's going to be a kit using the brand new fabric we got a couple of days ago. That's the Amanda Murphy collection from Bittertex, that's called Peace on Earth Holiday. And so it's a really bright reds and bright greens, and so we're going to do this as a wall hanging kit. We're also going to do this in a second colorway that is spring colors, and instead of Christmas presents under the tree, we're going to have fusible die cut flowers, and you can have a little flower garden underneath the tree too. You could also do fall colors and put pumpkins and leaves underneath the tree. So there's lots of options on this cute little tree. It's wall hanging size, and it's a really cute item in this book. This is an Annie's book that's only $14.99. Oh, I'm sorry, $12.99. And we're going to do a Christmas in July here at the store. And one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to do this table runner. And we've got some beautiful fabric from Riley Blake. It's Sandy Gervais Christmas from last May. And so we're going to be using it. We've got a little bit left over to make kits for. The other thing that we're going to do that's a Christmas in July is we're going to do this basket as a kit. And it will be very cute. And so those are going to be workshops here in the store. And then the last one is this adorable Christmas Santa tote bag. And so we think that there's lots of people who are going to want to make this, but there's a couple of different quilts in here that are really cute. So this book is back in stock. It's $12.99. I misspoke a moment ago, but we got 25 of them in today. And so that's something you need to stop by the store and get, or you can also get any of these items online at diannesews.com. The next thing I want to show you is the fabric that we got in today. And also, we got our wool mats got restocked too. So we now have 2 sizes of the gypsy mats. Those are back in stock. If you were waiting on one of those, we've got those. We had previously stocked Wilmington's dry brush in the blue and in the white, and we sold out all of them. And so we've now today got a restock of this blue and the white, but we also added as dry brush this light blue and this gray that's kind of a gray blue, and then a beautiful tonal yellow. So I had a lot of people ask me for a pale yellow tonal. And we also have this one that's a more of a sky blue that's a tonal. And then we have this gorgeous red that I'm sure people are going to want to use at Christmas time. So these are really beautiful. If you've been in my store, you know that I don't carry Moda Grunge, but in my view, this and also the Maywood Shadow Play that I carry are great blender alternatives if you aren't specifically looking for grunge. But I also want to show you a new collection that came yesterday. It's also from Wilmington, and it's called Au Naturel, and it's beautiful. It's got muted shades of purple florals that are just super pretty, and it's got some low volume purple and green prints. This is called Stripe with Dot. There's a really pretty green and purple diagonal plaid. Then here's the main floral in the cream colorway. Just lovely, lovely florals. Then there's some low volume prints. This one is called Silhouette, which is really a dark purple on purple, which I think would be beautiful in a lot of different projects. Here's another of the main floral, and it's kind of I would say a mint background with the different colored florals in there. And then there's also a border stripe, which if you're making a quilt, a border stripe makes a beautiful, beautiful border. And especially when the corners have been mitered. And so if you don't know how to miter corners, stop by the store. We can probably do a quick tutorial and show you how to miter corners on your borders. But there's also the 3 other colorways that have the low volume prints in it. But these are really beautiful. They came yesterday. And so it's definitely something new to stop by the store and see. The last thing I want to show you is a really cute store sample that Rita pieced and I quilted and bound. And this is our mini pumpkins wall hanging. And we have these kits in the store. And these kits are only $37.99. The kits include fabric for the backing, and we have two different backing choices. One's floral and one is the witch's stocking stripes. The pumpkin fabric is from Moda Spellbound, and it's just darling. So we have this kit, and it's going to be a quick and easy thing to put together. It comes with a printed pattern by Cluck Cluck Sew, and all the fabric you need to make this darling pumpkin wall hanging. You could use it as a table topper or on the wall, or maybe put a wider border on it and make it a center of a lap quilt. So this is ready to go. We've got kits ready to pick up. So stop by the store. I know it's spring, but fall will be here before you know it. So it's time to start on the small projects that you can get done in time for fall. So that's what's new in the store. Come by and see me if you'd like to see the demo that shows why I don't use cotton thread to piece anymore and what I use in exchange. Stop by the store. We're at 722 West Center Circle in Nixa, or shop now at diannesews.com.